Usually the later rounds of the NHL draft don't really end up mattering all that much, but Craig Conroy and the rest of the Calgary Flames beg to differ after putting on an absolute clinic in this year's NHL draft. Ask and you shall receive. I've made videos on the first 4 rounds of the NHL draft. You guys wanted me to finish off the draft, and of course, we deliver here on Flames Digest, so we're going to be taking a deeper dive into the later rounds of the draft. But first, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I am Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And yes, the Flames had a great draft. We've talked about Zane Parekh. We've talked about maybe some other steals that the Flames have had. Well, guess what? We got another steal to talk about. And yes, this one is obviously well known. Most people would agree already that this could be quite the steal. And some people are a little upset that I didn't mention it in any of the previous videos. It's been crazy. This video is probably going to be coming out through the middle of free agency frenzy, probably on July 2nd or something. We'll see how the scheduling ends up working out. But a lot of you already know who I'm, of course, talking about when I say we got another steal. And that man is Luke Misa. Yes, he fell to the Flames in the 5th round with the 150th overall pick. And he has a somewhat well-known name, more so because of his younger brother. Michael, of course, was granted exceptional status, and he is going to be, I believe it's next year, he's draft eligible, so maybe we could see a brother duo here. It's kind of funny the way Luke Misa and Michael Misa work. It reminds me almost of, well, we hope it'll be like the Robertsons in a way. You know, Nick Robertson was quite a bit more hyped up than Jason Robertson. Maybe it's because Nick Robertson was drafted to Toronto, but either way, hasn't quite worked out for Nick Robertson. Maybe that'll happen for Michael. And the lesser known one in Jason Robertson or Luke Misa will work out for us. Unbelievable that the Flames got him this late. It's crazy that he dropped to the 5th round, but I think the Flames knew they wanted him and they absolutely got him. So let's take a quick look at his facts. As we know, the big thing here is that he's not huge. He's only 5'10", 174 pounds, so a little bit on the smaller side of things. But, you know, he's a good boy. Oakville, Ontario, right outside of Toronto. Another good Canadian. The Flames drafted so many Canadians, which is great. And you look at the player type down there at the bottom. Playmaker, speedster, and a workhorse, which are great attributes, especially when put together. You know, a playmaker that's fast, that'll also work super hard. Boom. You've got me sold. He sounds so good. I'm sure we are thrilled with having Luke Misa. So good. Let's take a dive into his actual stats here from the OHL. Wow, did we ever have scouts scouting out the O? My goodness, I think sent everyone into the Ontario Hockey League, and hopefully it'll pay off because we had such a good draft. But either way, let's talk about Luke Misa and his stats with the Mississauga Steelhead. So he was playing close to home, of course. This past season, 81 points in 66 games, well over a point per game, a good split of 26 goals, 55 assists, definitely more of a playmaker, but he can pot the some putty. He can pot the puck into the net. If you look at the season before, 13 goals and 30 assists and 43 points in 64 games. Not bad at all. And of course, when he was so young as well, he had a 26-point season in 62 games, which isn't bad at all. So this kid is just a producer. You know, he loves getting the points. He loves seeing his name on the score sheet, and he does it night after night. I'm sure there will be an opportunity for him to do that at the NHL level in the near future. Probably not this upcoming season, maybe not for the next couple years here, but definitely by the time the rebuild is coming towards its end and we are a good team again, he will have at least an opportunity to showcase it at the NHL level. I'm so happy that the Flames picked up Misa, and I know a lot of other people too. This looks like yet another big steal by Conroy and the Flames. But let's continue. There were 2 more picked, so let's talk about how the Flames added some size. Yes, that's something that the Flames didn't really do all that much through the draft so far. I said it in the last video about the draft, but it seemed like they were going for players with almost identical dimensions. Everyone was right around 6 foot and 185 pounds, something like that. Well, finally, the Flames decided to draft someone who was quite a bit larger. If we jump into the 6th round pick at 170th overall, when the Flames took Hunter Lang of the Prince George Cougars. And That looks great. What a photo, what a graphic, it's all good, but what do we care about? What did I just say? It is all about the size here, so bring up those facts. Boom, he's from Kelowna, BC, so not too far away as well, which is great. Again, I will have no problem wanting to play in Calgary, but look right there at the height, 6'6". I'd be looking up at him like this. You know, oh my goodness, he's a giant pretty much, and he's 205 pounds, lots of room to put on some weight as well if he truly wants to be an absolute menace out there on the ice. You look at the player type, he's a net front presence, of course. When you're 6'6", I'd assume so, either that or block some shots, and he is a two-way center. The offensive numbers aren't eye-popping at all. I didn't even bother bringing him up here, because what matters for this guy, why he was drafted, wasn't his point production, it was his size. As you see, like the chapter of the video says, he is just a big boy, and it's good. You don't always need to be drafting point producers. It's good to have a variety. Sometimes you need players like this in order to be a championship team. And I know it's later in the draft, but who knows? This guy could be a stud at the NHL level as well. That is the beauty of the draft. All these kids have so much potential, and we see the potential in them. So much optimism. I absolutely love it. Now, if we get into the final pick that the Flames made in this draft, they drafted another local boy. Yes, the Flames seem to have a type. Well, they seem to have various types, really. One of them, of course, is the aforementioned 6 foot, 185 pound 18-year-olds. But this other type is kids from Calgary, and it has picked up like crazy. Of course, we saw Andrew Basha get drafted here, but now we have Mr. Eric Jameson, another Calgarian kid. This guy went in the 6th round, pick 177, and he is a defenseman playing out in the WHL, just like Lang was. And look, once again, what a pro, what a positive is that he is from Calgary. Will have no problem wanting to play for this franchise. Doesn't need to go down south or anything like that. Let's take a look at his stats here first. Once again, just like Lang, maybe not the most eye-popping stats. I mean, you know, 32 points in 66 games this past season, almost a point every other game, 70 penalty minutes though. But like it was said before, look, he's a defenseman. It doesn't matter all that much about the point production. That's actually pretty good for a defenseman. And of course, this was later in the draft too. Not all the defensemen we can draft can always have 100 points. But either way, Jameson, he looks very, very good as well. Let's take a quick little dive into his facts as well from Elite Prospects. So as you see right there near the top, birthplace of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And yesterday was Canada Day. Happy Canada Day once again. But this guy here, he's not too small either, which is good for a defenseman. 6'3", over 200 pounds already. Of course, once again, room for that to grow. He can put on some weight. That is great dimensions for a defenseman starting out, especially a young one. If we look at his player type, he is a defensive defenseman. You say that, and yet he got 10 goals and 22 assists this past season. But he's a heavy hitter and a physical D-man. I've said this about every player the Flames have drafted, but this guy could very well end up having a good shot at making it to the NHL level. Literally everyone the Flames picked in this draft could have that opportunity within the next 3 to 5 years for sure. Maybe not the goalie that we took, Zarubin. Obviously, goalies take a little bit longer, but all the skaters, they all look really good. And of course, I'm going to say that as, you know, the Flames Digest host. But I'm thrilled with this draft. This was a perfect draft for the Flames when it comes down to it. I know going into it, a lot of us wanted Tej, or we wanted one of those centers. I couldn't have asked for a better draft, to be honest, and I'm thrilled that it went this way. So pumped. What a clinic put on by the Flames and Craig Conroy. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day, as we always do. And this one, once again, has to do with, you know, just kind of what we did in the draft. This one comes from a regular around here, just my opinion. 9959, he said, I always believed that you build a championship team from the net out. Of course, we already have Wolfie. Looks like Conroy is following that, and I like it. Best draft day for the Flames in a long time. Now let's see what Conroy has up his sleeve for free agency. Flames have $30 million in cap space. Could be interesting. I know by the time this video is going up, free agency frenzy has gone and passed behind us, but I already know some of the things that the Flames have done, and it's interesting for sure. There's still more to be done, but either way, it is going to be a crazy summer, a crazy offseason. It already has been, and I'm just so excited for the future of the Flames. What a draft. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.